Assalamu alaikum. Greetings to your excellencies in the nation of Yemen. Thank you to Fawad Al-Ghaffari for inviting me to address your conference. I'm Diane Sare, an independent candidate for U.S. Senate in New York and a longtime collaborator of Lyndon and Helga Tsepp LaRouche. I am hoping that by the time you are at your conference, the world will be a more peaceful place, moving in a better direction than the very dangerous situation we are in today, which is March 5th, 2024. First of all, I would like you to know that the majority of the American people want peace and do not agree with the policy of the government of the United States to continue to veto the ceasefire resolutions to stop the Israeli assault on Gaza. And I want to share with you a demonstration from New York City just 3 days ago, March 2nd, when you see here maybe 15,000 people gathered in Washington Square in Manhattan. This is young people. It is Muslim American people, but many students of other faiths, and there is a large number of American Jewish young people who are very anguished about the policy against the people of Gaza, which reminds them of what happened under the Nazis. Therefore, I believe that our government is going to have to respond. There are dozens of city councils who have passed resolutions calling for a ceasefire. But why? Why is this war happening? Why are the other wars happening? Well, there is a new dynamic in the world. It is the end of colonialism. It is the end of the empire against which the United States fought our revolution, even though some people lately seem to have forgotten it. And the new grouping of nations is coming together in spite of any kind of differences culturally or otherwise. This map shows the 4 nations which most recently joined the BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and you see how strategically Israel and Palestine are located here to disrupt the process, to have a war to disrupt the potential that is emerging among the cooperations of the great powers of Russia and China and these nations for economic development. But I don't think the forces of empire are going to succeed. I am a student of Lyndon LaRouche, who was the greatest American patriot, philosopher, and economic forecaster. He ran for president 8 times. He was sent to prison by the Bush administration and Henry Kissinger. And I'm going to show you a plan that he outlined already in 1975, which could bring peace to this region. It was called the Oasis Plan, the plan to green the deserts. It involves a canal of desalinated water to green the deserts. This is not a canal for shipping. That's the Suez Canal. We don't want to replace that. It is a canal for irrigation. And given the very, very low Dead Sea level, 400 meters below sea level, if you bring water in, you can also generate massive amounts of hydroelectricity. It is my view that the starting point for peace has to be 2 states going by the UN Resolution 242. That means the West Bank, the entire West Bank, not Swiss cheese, but the settlements will have to be reversed, and the Gaza Strip, and a highway connecting the 2 of them. I think a Palestinian state is extremely important to allow negotiations on equal footing. Here is a close-up showing some of the proposals for nuclear plants that could be used to desalinate ocean water and transform this desert into a beautiful oasis capable of housing tens of millions of people in the most modern cities imaginable. I think Yemen, with your amazing history of city building, could help to plan what these regions would look like in a new and prosperous era. A peaceful Middle East or Southwest Asia it is the crossroads of civilization where you can bring together a dialogue of the best contributions of China and Confucius, Tilak in India, Al-Farabi, Ibn Sina, the Baghdad Caliphate, the breakthroughs of Charlemagne, the best contributions of the Florentine Renaissance, the best contributions of Egypt. In a sense, people like Eratosthenes, who measured the circumference of the earth in 232 BC. Clearly, this region is a crossroads of civilization, and if mankind would think of itself differently as collaborating and cooperating to improve our condition, then there are great contributions that can be made by all of the people along this corridor. So that is what I hope we will be moving towards as soon as April when you have this conference. If we are still mired in the darkness of war and oppression of one people by another, then I hope we can act in solidarity among the people of the world to free ourselves of that outlook and to have a greater respect for the dignity of man and for a new order among nations which respects the sovereignty of each nation and the dignity and the right to development of each individual. Thank you very much. I hope at some point in the not distant future that we may all be able to meet together in person.